what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the short, limited run series, Market Your Cyber Self. So here on Simply Cyber on the channel, if you're not aware of this, we have been running an original series podcast. It's a limited 8-episode run. Today is episode 4, as you saw on the promo card, leveling up your thought leadership from zero to cyber hero. Joining us again for this 8-part series is Virginia Kay, CEO over at STRATAC, a marketing, basically thought leadership marketing firm that helps cybersecurity companies and cybersecurity professionals like really harness what their brand is and be able to, establish that brand, grow that brand, be recognizable, get opportunities, all these things. She is an absolute expert, frankly, in the marketing space, and she's a wonderful person as well. So we're going to have a great show for you today. Like I said, we're talking about leveling up your thought leadership from zero to cyber hero. So in the next 30 minutes, we are going to be telling you all about how you can use memes to really engage the community, how you can find your own muse, what even thought leadership is. That's a word that gets thrown around quite a bit, but what does it actually mean? And more importantly, how can you utilize it to benefit yourself professionally and kind of reach out and drive those career goals? So we got a banger for you. If you got any questions in chat, I'm watching chat. I see you in there, folks. Throw them up to the stage, and I will get them to Virginia. Without further ado, let's start the show. What's up, Virginia? How are you?
Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely. I am absolutely loving this podcast run series. By the way, all the previous episodes are available on the channel if you want to go back and look. I'm bundling them up as a playlist so you can consume them all at once. And if you are more interested in hearing it in the audio version, once we complete the 8 episodes, I will upload them as an entire bingeable piece of content up on Spotify or Apple Podcasts so you guys can giddy up on that way. So, Virginia.
Yes, sir.
People use the word thought leadership quite a bit, but let's hear what an expert says. What is the definition? What is thought leadership? What's a thought leader?
So I think of thought leaders being organically growing an audience. And so the biggest things that I see in terms of what is a thought leader? Consistency. Creators of content who post content consistently really are the ones who take that leadership role out in the world. So no one wants to follow somebody who meanders around, kind of doesn't really have any consistency in when they're posting, or somebody who in fact ghosts them. So set an expectation and keep it. That's one of the first steps in being a thought leader. The next part is about leading doesn't always require you to be unique. I talked to a lot of different people about, well, what I have to say doesn't happen to be the most earth-shattering, thoughtful new stuff out in the world. What you do need to do is be refreshing or willing to share your own expertise, experience, authority on a topic. It kind of goes back to search engine optimization with that EEAT acronym that we were talking about last time. It also requires someone willing to take the good with the bad, because not everybody's a fan, not everybody's going to love you. And creating content worth talking about means being your authentic self and accepting that you're not for everyone. And the last part of this is being able to set your ego aside, that you need to be strong in the face of psychological manipulation that platforms give you with that feedback, that like button, those hearts. We're seeing it already over in threads. We're looking at all of that feedback from platforms to try and engage you and keep you inside of those platforms. And it's data. You should treat it as such. So when you're thinking about thought leadership, it's really those things: consistency, being a little bit unique, but having a voice, being able to take the things that are good and the bad, and also making sure that you're not letting your ego run the show.
Yeah, and Jack Scott in chat. What's up, Jax? Saying that this is gold. You're not going to make everyone like you. So true. And I feel like if you try to make everyone like you, you're not going to enjoy the experience yourself, and it's almost going to be kind of neutered, right, or just plain and not really driving anything. So, okay, then, like, you've defined what a thought leader is, but where does thought leadership live? Like how do we find it?
So, thought leadership exists in a lot of different places, and as individuals or as brands, there's a lot of different ways that you can actually spread your thoughts. So, one of the things that you can do is use social platforms that already exist. So, we're talking LinkedIn news, being able to do LinkedIn articles, just your general feed. That's a great place. You've also got all the other social platforms that are out there, and there's different styles for everyone. I'm not a Twitterer per se, but threads might be the new thing for me.
Mhm.
You might find all these new types of different channels that are more or less like your personality, and you should find what works for you. So, social platforms, blogs, you can start one up now. It doesn't take a whole bunch of technology to be able to do those, and you can create long form content. It's really great. Websites, if you're a brand, that's a wonderful place for you to be able to continue to engage an audience and community. There's live experiences. There's public events, conferences, different places that you can speak. There's digital experiences, webinars, for example.
Mhm.
There's auditory experiences, podcasts, for example. There's printed content, think ebooks and things along those lines. Multimedia content like videos, live streams. There's community places like our Discords. And then there's emails. You can build a list, you can grow followership through that, and you can continue to get out there. And Jerry, I've seen your email, so good job, you're doing great. And the last part is other people's property, aka their content places, their websites, their social, all those different things. And it's kind of helpful to look at who is out there, who you can join with, and kind of spread your voice on other people's property as well.
Yeah, and just as a pro tip, I don't do this very often myself with Simply Cyber's content, but a technique I have seen quite successful, and I'd love your thoughts on this, Virginia, is to take like a really popular post or a real popular video or real popular, you know, like trendy thing at the moment, and then remix it like with either a reaction video or commenting on that thing to kind of catch that wave. Because yeah, thought leadership you want to share, but I feel like if you're trying to do that, you want to reach a wider audience, right? So one of the techniques you can do is try to catch those waves. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I totally agree. And LinkedIn is actually feeding that frenzy as well, so that when you comment on LinkedIn news, even if you're commenting in the different sections of what other people are posting, you're going to get some more traction for yourself. In fact, this week I've already gotten 20 followers from a comment that I made on a LinkedIn news post.
I love it. And Chris Cahall wants to know what's the easiest way to start a blog, since you mentioned blogs is a good way to go about it.
So Squarespace is a pretty friendly platform. Wix is also another friendly platform, and Weebly is also kind of a drag and drop interface for you to be able to just start creating content out there. And you don't have to buy a domain. A lot of these places will actually give you a domain for free. But if you do want to brand it, that's something to consider as well.
So, okay, I'm all in. Let's do some thought leadership stuff. Let's share our concepts. But you might feel, where do you begin? So, like, I guess how do you find your muse? Like, where do you how do you get inspired?
So for me, I start out with a hub and spoke model. I start out with a core topic that I'm interested in, and then just like the spokes on a wheel, I find other things that are interesting and along those lines. It's hard for me a little bit because I'm passionate about a lot of different areas. So LinkedIn doesn't know what to do with me actually because I follow so many different things that I'm passionate about. But for me, I try and carve out specific areas that are going to be good subtopics to a main core topic. So my main core topic would probably be cybersecurity marketing, but then we could get into behavioral analysis. We could get into behavioral economics. We could get into psychology. We could go into a whole bunch of different things about graphic design, web design, all of those different things, which could be those different constellation subtopics for me to talk about. And it's really helpful to have a tool that you can start mapping this out with. You can actually sign up for a Miro board, Miro, and you get like one or two free. And it's wonderful to kind of create a mind map of like, what is that central topic that you want to be known for? And what are those constellations that you can be drawing in as additional content for you? The next thing on this list is making sure that you are staying involved with your topic even when you're busy. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You can subscribe to different people inside of your different feeds, like turn on that little bell inside of LinkedIn to kind of curate your feed for the people you really want to see. But also you could set up an RSS feed. Lots of different ways to do that. And for the techies and non-techies alike, there's ways and tools that you can implement that. And then say the things that inspire you. I am a Pinterest junkie. I will be honest, I've probably got over 10,000 pins. And it's just because there are so many things out there that are great ideas. And those great ideas are wonderful in the moment. But then as you're pinning, as you might be doing, you might go, oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. what do I do next? Well, this is where tools like transcription tools can really come in handy, such as Otter AI. They're one of my favorite tools to be able to do transcription, to be able to capture your thoughts, talk to yourself. It can feel a little weird at first, being like, I think this thing is really interesting that I want to talk about with phishing attacks, but my thought was X, Y, and Z. And then later you can come back to what your transcription is, and you may have already started writing your post. It kind of helps you jumpstart that engine. The other thing is being able to comment on the things you're looking at. What are your observations? What are your opinions on this topic? What do you like or dislike? And platforms are really they're interesting. So want to be crawling. So create by communicating facts and then really sit up 7 9 so have.
Yeah, absolutely. And Virginia, check the private chat for a second, if you will. So a couple things I want to point out that Virginia just mentioned is you've got to think about how somebody is going to consume your content also, right? So if you're, say you have like this really great idea or this really great take on a topic or whatever, if you write like a word wall that's, 1,000 words and there's no, it's bad grammar and there's no emotes, there's no bullets, there's no block quotes, someone's going to look at it and be like, I just don't want to commit to this, reading this. And I mean, think about yourself. Like, next time you're reading something online and you just like abandon it, take a moment and actually think like, why am I abandoning this? And then don't do that when you're posting, sharing, creating content. If you've noticed on LinkedIn, I like to use emotes like all over the place with my posts to make it visually interesting, break up the monotony, and kind of use certain emotes to call out. Like I like to use the siren one for like calls to action. Like if I want someone to go read something or click on something, I use that. So that's definitely a best practice. I also want to say shout out really quick to people in chat. I see like Jessica Bassett over on LinkedIn and Ben, regular folks from the Simply Cyber Squad community, Jax and CatGPT. Really appreciate y'all checking this out. Jax herself loves some emojis, as we all know. So I love that. So let's continue on, Virginia. And if your bandwidth continues to be a little bit of an issue, it's just gone down now to 2 out of 10. If it continues to be an issue, maybe we drop the camera feed and just listen to your angelic voice deliver hot takes. So let's change directions here for a second, Virginia. How do you expand your influence through unconventional channels, right? There's a lot of obvious ones that people talk about, but how do you expand your influence through unconventional channels and engaging content?
Right, for you to be able to act and like, but there's also ways for you to I also recommend for off to read and stuff, but unfortunately, I pull out that pictures of what I think is big on me. So outside of that,
I love it. I'm just asking chat right now again if they're able to hear and understand the stuff that you're delivering because yeah, it's breaking up unfortunately, Virginia. So it's kind of difficult to mine these golden nuggets you're dropping on us right now. I don't know if it's possible to either plug in hardwire or move the laptop maybe, or I don't know, like I don't know, but
So let's
we'll see. I see you at 1 of 10 right now. So if you switched, it's possible that it's not better. It's worse. So can I repeat what she says? Chris Weaver says, yeah, I can certainly try. I was actually doing production stuff while Virginia was replying to the last question. So I guess, Virginia, if you can give me like a quick bullet on how to expand your influence through unconventional channels, drop it, and I will repeat it as best I can.
unconventional strategies. Consider
Mhm. Mhm.
also sitting with people
Mhm.
and thinking about how you might be able to incorporate looks, and then picking up matches that you're having and the digital void.
Yeah. Set a timer is such a good point. One thing that I learned, I've been studying some like work productivity books and stuff like that. Guys, it's really easy to diverge and spend tons of time like, ooh, I like this idea. I like this idea. I like this idea. I want to comment on this. Like you yourself, ask yourself, like I made the meme not too long ago about owning a bunch of TCM courses and having not started them, or I've done like 5% of each of them, right? It's easy to get distracted and chase after a different squirrel. But you need to, at some point, stop and begin converging on those ideas and complete them. So that's definitely a best practice, which, Virginia is saying set a timer. I know some popular techniques are Pomodoro or whatever, those 20-minute timers. That's a technique that's pretty powerful. But the unique strategies that Virginia's shared, in case you didn't hear it, was saving images off your phone, Pinterest, right? Like looking for inspiration in kind of unusual places, books, like actual books, magazines that you may or may not regularly review, right? Maybe you're at the doctor's office, you just grab a magazine and flip through it and see if there's something that catches your eye that would relate to what you're into. And then, going to different places, educating yourself, right? Go to a museum, watch a documentary. Like you can find connections in unusual places if you're actually looking. So let's keep going, Virginia, and see if we can power on here. So I have harnessing the power of pop culture and memes to make memorable impact. What do you want to say about that? And I've actually done some work with the memes lately, but I needed help, which I'll share with chat after you provide your insights.
Memes is the different audiences that you choose, and so it's important to know your audience. And people weren't ready for it. I say, meme, you should know your audience, whether or not they're going to respond to it. And there's two groups that I'm a fan of, because I think they do it very well inside of a professional atmosphere. And so, Jerry, you have those that I was hoping you could pull up.
Yeah, let me pull those up right now. This is great, and I'll drop links in chat afterwards, chat. So this is one, right? Cybersecurity Hub?
Yes, this is one of them. So Cybersecurity Hub, obviously on brand for us, but they have great stuff that they do for me to laugh during the middle of the day, something that you can really resonate, something that feels on brand for you.
Yeah,
so
and
if you
I'm
can
dropping
show
a link in chat, and then I'll here, like, so there's an example from Cybersecurity Hub, right?
Yep.
Okay, you want me to go to the next one?
Yes, please.
Okay. I love this one. I knew about this one. Someone shared this one with me.
And especially as we're creating as solopreneurs, and whatnot, it can feel this way, where you're the one, everybody else is kind of giving you a barrage of different things that you can do or should do. And it can even be you sending those tennis balls down court to your.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Virginia's mentioning using memes. This marketing millennials one here, I'll drop a link in chat for this one too. This one particularly, there are excellent examples of how to use memes to make interesting posts. And if you guys don't know, that TCM one that I made that like blew up, if you're familiar with my content, right? If you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Jerry. I run Simply Cyber. A lot of people commented on that meme I made of the jealous girlfriend with the guy looking back over his shoulder at the other girl, and talking about TCM course content. I got inspired by looking at marketing millennials. Like literally, this is just a coincidence. Virginia hadn't told me about this yet, but they do an excellent job, and it really resonates with. It's kind of meta right now, wouldn't you say, Virginia? The way that people kind of want to consume information.
Yes, I do think so. And it's you can really develop community. And it's funny because I've seen a resurgence of some of the oldest memes come back up, and it's like they were uncool, stale for a while, and now they're being cool.
Perfect. And you can turn your camera back on because you are lit up across the board, Virginia. There we are. Look at Miss
All right,
Virginia. It's
thank
great to see you
you all
again.
the internet in Texas.
Yeah, yeah. You
Sorry.
sacrificed your printer to the internet elders.
Well,
Yeah.
probably
So I
104
mean,
degrees does it.
oh, I bet. Yeah. So I mean, as far as using these memes and stuff, I'd love to ask you a question. Okay. So we just looked at a couple examples. This one, for example, and Virginia had mentioned that some of the older stale ones are coming back. I myself I met with, okay, so this is a honest admission time, okay? I met with a 26-year-old marketing guy, okay? He's one of my, I do work with him. And we got on a call, and he explained to me what the meme was trying to do. And I understand cybersecurity, but I don't get the memes. And he understands marketing and memes, but he doesn't get cybersecurity. So we had like a working session where I'm like, oh, he's like, this one, it means that, you want to do this, but, it's the car like swerving off the highway. He's like, you want to do this, but you have to do that. And I was like, oh, that's like whatever, like proxy shell, like, and having to come in on the weekends or something like that. He's like, explain that to me. And I did. And like, we did like a working session. We made like 5 or 6 meme info cyber graphics and stuff like that. So stay tuned. Those will be coming at some point. But I'm old, Virginia. You see the gray? You see the splotch of gray up here? That means I don't understand how memes work. So what can I do to get more information on memes? So I just consume more memes and then figure out what it looks like, or what's your tip for me?
Prescription is consume more memes. I think that's always a good prescription. But if you actually go on now, everybody is really actually comedy. And so one of the things that we're seeing is that it's kind of like Twitter circa 2009, where there's a lot of funny, engaging content going. It's a great place to go for inspiration. Also, reels are a really great way of being able to see some of this kind of comedic gold. And so you'll start, and don't forget that a meme also qualifies as a GIF or a GIF, depending on who you are, and being able to figure out those different ways that pop culture can fit things in our lives. I always think of like Ross on the staircase in Friends with the pivot bot, and like there's a lot of those times when I'm working and it's like, well, it's time to pull out Ross because we need to pivot.
I love it. Well, we got a couple minutes left here. Let's bring it home here. How can influencers? How did they come to be successful on LinkedIn and YouTube? What is this trend here?
So a lot of it has to do with consistency and quality. And they didn't have quality. They just had really good, authentic quality from the sense of it resonated with somebody. So find those things that really you that you can talk about that are natural for you to talk about. Able to see how a lot of those people grown their followings. One thing I would caution you against, followers does not necessarily equal dollars. Think about what your objective is. If your objective is to get a whole bunch of followers as social proof that you are a thought leader and an expert, great. But make sure that those followers are doing something for you in terms of building what you want towards your own life. If that is notoriety, if it is things to just kind of get your own celebrity status, then that's fine, get the followers. But if your goal is to potentially find a job, or if your goal is to really start a business, or your goal is to continue to monetize what you've been doing as a creator, think about those objectives and that you're doing things that are going to really resonate. And we've talked already about LinkedIn and different ways that you can post and the frequency and all of that stuff that really helps you like work the algorithms to your advantage. But quality and consistency are going to win the game hands down time. So figure ways that you can show you. That's another thing that I see has been really helping users grow is picture themselves. And Jerry, you had a fun series there too, where you were really using all of the AI generated and amplified images for yourself. It's still you. And so being able to do things that show you active out in the world that lets people engage. We are wired as humans to be able to connect with faces. So show people you, even if it is a pose or some people may feel that it's silly. Let people see who you really are.
Yeah, 100%. And just like as an example on Threads, like literally the first post I made was this picture and I introduced myself, right? Like, this is who I am. Like, I'm a real person. You can see me, and I'm into this, and this, and let's party. So don't be afraid. I know some people like to do anonymity and privacy, and you can do that. You're just, it's like one of the tools in the toolbox that you can help you move faster, basically, to build, kind of a brand or a presence. But you don't have to do it. But you're kind of limiting yourself if you do that. I do want to quick shout out, see if I can pull it up on chat. It's kind of funny. I made the comment about how old I am, and where is Scott? Scott's post. Oh my God, there's so many posts here. Scott had a post about being old and the newsletter. Here it is. It just cracked me up. Right, Scott, old. Join my We Yell at Clouds newsletter for age-appropriate content today. That's funny, Scott, but it's also that would be a compelling sign up for my newsletter, right? That's funny and interesting, right? It's a good example.
It'd be great.
And I don't
think it, so go for it.
Heck yeah. So guys, we're almost over time here, but like Virginia case, this woman right here, I got a mirrored image. This woman, very, very awesome person. If you want to have a conversation with her, you can book 15 minutes with Virginia on a coffee break. I just dropped a link in chat that you can use to access. It's her Calendly link. It's her schedule. If she's available, it'll show up. You can book time with her. You saw her here on the show. She's got amazing ideas. She can help you market yourself, brand yourself. She specializes in cybersecurity professionals, cybersecurity businesses. This is where she is. She's great at marketing, but she's focused and really, really sharp on the cybersecurity front. So don't be shy and don't sleep on this opportunity to, grab 15 minutes of Virginia's time. I'm fortunate because I'm personal friends with Virginia, so I get to get 20 minutes of Virginia's time from time to time. But yeah, anything you want to follow up on, Virginia, about booking time with you?
We were a little choppy today. If you have questions, I'm happy to jump in and give you feedback that I have. LinkedIn is my main channel of choice. So find me on LinkedIn and I'd be happy to start the conversation with you there and help both of us grow both of us.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, so she's Virginia. Here, let me just do this really quickly, just so everybody knows what your account looks like on LinkedIn. That way people can make sure that they're connecting with the official Virginia Case. There she is, Virginia Case. So I'll drop a link in chat right now to her LinkedIn profile. Definitely connect with Virginia if you're not already connected with her. All right, that's going to do it for the show today. Let me drop this. Guys, I want to thank all of you for being here today. Great audience, great questions. The 30 minutes does go wicked fast, no doubt. Virginia, thank you so much again. I'm loving this series. We're halfway through now. This was episode 4 of 8. We'll be back in 2 weeks, potentially live from Vegas. Still trying to work through the logistics on that, but let's have a good time, have some fun. Episode 5, 2 weeks from now. Again, if you want all the previous 4 videos, including this one, are available on replay on the Simply Cyber channel. So go check all those out. Virginia's just dropping knowledge bombs all over the place. Thank you very much, Virginia. Chat, thank you. And until next time, do me a favor and stay secure. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. we're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.